My name is Brianna. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you're not new, welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about putting yourself first and setting boundaries. This is such an important topic to me, and this topic is near and dear to my heart, and I really think that it is so important because once I truly learned this and I truly began to embody this in my life, I started to notice I noticed such of a big difference just in the quality of my life, and I was just much more happier with myself and just happier in general. So the first thing that I want to emphasize is putting yourself first is necessary. Putting yourself first is necessary. It's not selfish. And I think that if you're known as like a people pleaser, or if you're known as someone who gives a lot, who, is empathetic, you have a caring heart, you really want to help the others around you as much as you can. If someone is in your circle and they ask you for something, they can almost for certain know that you're gonna say yes, because that's just the type of person you are, and you're caring, you're giving, and that's cool. But you have to put yourself first, and when you start putting yourself first, people around you are not gonna be used to that, and some people may even call you selfish. They may try to call you selfish because they're not used to this. They're not used to you putting yourself first and above their needs. So they're gonna try to hopefully no one calls you selfish. Hopefully people will just respect that you gotta put you first. But some people may not that you're putting yourself first, and they may try to call you selfish or whatever, but don't listen to them. You have to fill up your own cup. And that's something else that leads me to my next point, is that you have to pour into your own cup and make sure that your own cup is full before you can pour into someone else's. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And I know we all heard this before, but it's so true. You have to cater to your needs. You have to make sure that you're well rested. You have to make sure you're well fed. You have to make sure that you're not burnt out and overstimulated before catering to someone else's needs and doing something just because someone asked you. You really have to do a mental check-in with yourself and ask yourself, am I okay? How am I feeling? Am I exhausted? Am I tired? Am I burnt out? Do I need a break? What do I need? What is going to be the best decision for me? If I say yes to what this person is asking me, what are going to be the effects for me? How is that going to affect me in my life? If I say no, then what's going to be the outcome, and how is that going to affect me? Those are just some of the things you have to think about. You really, really, really cannot pour from an empty cup. You are no help. You're no true help and no true service to others if you are not taking care of yourself. And I 100% stand by that. You have to take care of yourself. If you know that you're burnt out from the work week and your friends ask you to go out on Friday, I'm sorry. I would love to go out with you, but I'm so exhausted. I really need a night into myself. I really need to catch up on some sleep. Say something along those lines. I would love to spend time with you, but I really need to catch up on my rest. Simple. And let's say you have plans the next morning. Let's say your friends asked you to go out on a Saturday night, but you told yourself that you're getting up for church Sunday morning, or you're getting up to go to the gym early Sunday morning, so that you have the rest of the day to clean your house, relax, meal prep, get prepared for the following week. If that's the case, Stay true to what you planned you were going to do, and say no to your friend asking you to go out. That's putting yourself and your needs first. You have to, take Sunday as a mental reset day. You have to meal prep. You got to get ready for work. You also want a little bit of time to chill and relax for the work week. That's okay. Make sure you do that. So another aspect of putting yourself first is setting boundaries. Now, essentially, when you're putting yourself first, you're essentially setting boundaries, right? You're saying, hey, like, this is a boundary that I have for myself. So like if a friend is asking you to go out on a Friday night and you say, I'm sorry, like I can't, I need to catch up on some sleep. In essence, that's a boundary, because you're saying like, I don't go out on Friday nights. Like Friday nights, I'm recuperating from the week. That's a boundary. Or let's say, you're dating, or no, I'm trying to think of it. Let's say that you're dating and, the guy that you're dating calls you at like 9 p.m. and is like, hey, let's go get drinks. Or, hey, like, let's go to the club. And you're like, it's 9 p.m. I'm about to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, set that boundary. Like, I would love to spend time with you, but I would have loved if you would have asked me ahead of time. I would have loved if we would have planned this out like a week ago. Or I would have loved if you would have, hit me up this morning so I would have had time to like, get my nails done and pick out my outfit and prepare. Like it's kind of too short of a notice for me to go on a date. That's setting a boundary, and that's letting that man know, or it's letting that guy know that, hey, like I'm not just, a spur of the moment thing. Like you actually have to put in effort. You actually have to plan to take me out. Like you can't just, call me on a whim and expect me to step out, like drop what I'm doing and step outside. And now you're calling me like extra late, like 9 p.m. when you could have asked this morning. So it's like little things like that. That's like setting boundaries and letting people know how you operate, and letting people know how to address you and how to approach you and how to deal with you. How you set your boundaries is showing people what you're going to tolerate. It's showing people how to treat you. It's showing and telling people the respect that you require and that you deserve. And it's saying like, this is my respect level. This is my boundary level. You know what I'm saying? If you live in a house with a lot of people and maybe like they never knock on your door, maybe they just burst in and you say, hey, I would appreciate it if you knock on my door before you come in. Like, this is my space and I just want my personal space to be respected. Please knock on my door instead of just barging in. Like, that would be another way to kind of like express your boundaries. You're letting them know, hey, this is my personal space. When you barge in, I feel interrupted. I feel disturbed. Like, you're just letting them know how to treat you. So setting boundaries is very important. Let people know what you can and can't do. Some people will be upset when you set your boundaries. Some people feel entitled to your energy. Some people feel entitled to your time. But so what? They're just going to have to be upset. Like, this is your life. In order for you to, operate at your best and operate at your fullest, you have to set boundaries. You have to, set up those roadblockers in certain places to let people know how to treat you. Just like if someone, you're okay, we're going back to dating. But if you're dating and you haven't been on that many dates and then he FaceTimes you, but it's like, you didn't tell me you were gonna FaceTime me. Like, you gotta set up an appointment. Now, you could get to a level with them where they can just FaceTime you and you guys are at that level. But if you're not at that level yet, let them know, hey, like, If you want to FaceTime, that's cool, but let me know like when you want to speak on the phone, and so we can like set up a time to make that happen, something like that. Yes, and you don't owe people your time. You don't owe people your energy. Like, your time and your energy is precious. It's a gift, and you can't just give people your energy and your time all willy-nilly just for, just for the heck of it. Like, no, your time is precious. Your time is a gift. Your presence is precious. Your presence is a gift. And you have to be selective. You have to be selective with your presence. You have to be selective with your energy and who you give it to and who you share it with. And when it comes to setting boundaries, it's important to set boundaries because you need to ensure that your mental health and that your well-being is good before you go out of your way for other people, and before you give yourself to other people. You have to make sure that you're good. Like, maybe your mental health is suffering. Maybe you're going through a phase where you're like a little bit depressed, or you're really like stressed out, or you have anxiety about something. And as much as you would love to like show up for someone, maybe you just don't have the mental capacity. And I think it's important to just be able to express that, and at least like let your friends know where you're at. Like, hey guys, I'm not really in the best mental space right now. Like, I love you guys. It's nothing personal, but I can't hang out right now, or I'm just gonna stay home. Like, if your friends are hanging out and they ask you to come, like, that's like, you can just let them know, hey, I'm not in the right headspace. I don't have the mental capacity. And if they really do love you, then they should respect that, and they shouldn't get mad at you because you can't hang out or because you're not in the mood. Like, if you don't have the mental capacity, or you're not in the right headspace, then they should be able to understand that. And you need that time to yourself to deal with what you're going through. You need that time to tend to yourself and to reflect and to get rest. So, and at the end of the day, is you are responsible for your life, and a part of being responsible for your life is setting these boundaries and putting yourself first. Like, this is your life, and you can't let people walk all over you. You can't let people like tell you how to live your life. Like, no, you have to make that time to cater to yourself and pour into yourself and make sure that you're whole. And at the end of the day, like, no one else is responsible for your well-being but you. You are responsible for your well-being. You're responsible for, your mental health and your mindset, and making sure that you're whole. Because, some people will milk you dry if you let them. Like, if some people know that you're always going to say yes when they ask you for something, you're always going to be there when they need you, they'll milk you dry if you let them. So you really have to learn how to say no, and you have to learn how to set boundaries, and you have to learn how to say no, how to tell people no, and be comfortable with saying no, because that you're putting yourself first, and this is beneficial in the long run. So I don't want this video to be super long. I think that there are a lot of different aspects to setting boundaries and putting yourself first, and I'll probably make another video if something else comes up related to boundaries that I want to talk about. But I just think it's so important for everyone to set boundaries in their life. And that may look like not spending time with people that you normally spend time with all the time, just so you can have like a day to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, setting boundaries, it looks different in so many different aspects of your life and so many different sectors of your life. But this is more so like for people that just like haven't thought about how setting boundaries can really improve your life, and you know how important it is for you to make sure that you are putting yourself first and catering to yourself and filling up your own cup. So that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching.